Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. 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 Jai Shri Ramana, 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 Jai Shri Ramana. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. 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 Beautiful beings of the universe, welcome to now. This was the great chant of Sri Ramana Maharishi, because he used to sit on the mountain of Arunachala. And that beautiful mountain, it is said that if you just think about that mountain in your heart, you would be set free in this lifetime. And this is true, this is real. Because as you start proceeding ahead towards your journey of self-realization, then the Maharishi, who is Sage Ramana Maharishi, who was a great awakened master, it is also said he was the form of Lord Shiva himself. So, and he did this, he had basically this idea of beautiful self-inquiry that you can do, who am I? So anytime you have any sort of feeling, good or bad, or any sort of a thought in your head, you just ask yourself this question, who am I? So to who is this thought coming? So the answer would be I. And then you go back from there, and then you say, you do the self-inquiry, who am I? Because you might say that I'm this body, because when somebody calls your name, you think it's you who's been called. But that is actually not you, because you see, if you are this body, do you mean to say that your childhood was dead? Because you, the same you, were also a child few years ago. Where is that child now? That same child has come into this being now as an adult now. And the same body would get older and you would proceed towards death. So the same body would get old. And if you see, if it is important to realize this, because if you do not, then at an old age, it's going to be very difficult, because all your life you would be identified with your body, which is not correct. Why this is not correct? Because if you say that you are the body, then where is that body gone when you were a newborn? Where is that body of the unborn? Where is the body when you were conceived? Where were you before your mother conceived you? So this is a lot of insight what Maharishi had given for the normal public, so that we could actually turn away from suffering and get to the heart of the truth, which is self-realization. And another great example that he gave was, it is like the world is actually like a snake, but it's actually a rope. So at one time, you might be illusioned that there is a rope which is actually looking like snake. So you go closer to it, and then you just look very carefully and you see, oh, it's actually a rope. It's not a snake. So where did the snake disappear when you actually had the insight and you got closer to take a look at what is that? You do just come closer to see. So that is the truth. You just need to come closer and stay wide awake to be able to see what is real, what is unreal. As long as you do not do the self-inquiry, which means as long as you do not put the light of awareness to what's going on around you, you might always be delusioned by this fact of, oh, this is real and I need to run and I need to panic, because it's all in the dream state. So if you truly want to improve your life, you need to come out of it. But again, the moment you know the truth of the way things are, you are no more interested in changing the reality, because you know that it's all a dream. Now you're not running after the things that you were taught because of your older belief system, because all of your older belief system just crumbles down and fall. Now you come in the light and you stay with this awareness. And even though life challenges you and world challenges you with turbulences in your mind, in your heart, in your body, which might be very attacking to you initially, but if you are a seeker and if you are with this path of self-inquiry, as mentioned by Sri Ramana Maharishi, my guru, my sage, and also by Nisargadatta Maharaj, Jai Guru, lots of reverences to them. So here's the thing, like you need to be very much aware of your mind state slipping in, because mind is very flickery. It's very much easy to fall in to your older patterns and habits. And the way to the truth is only through remembrance. It's only through self-reminding. You need to self-remember of what the masters have said. So there are multiple ways to come at that. There are also people who just got self-realized without any masters. Like I do not have any guru in a physical form, but I have just studied through their teachings and I've done some bit of self-inquiry. And there are times when mind feels deluded and confused as to, but you see that confusion is actually just a thing of you sticking to your suffering. Because at any point in time, you can flip your frame of mind. Even if though you are in a dream state, you can still flip that around. So if you say that, oh, I feel miserable and stuck, we can always use the logic of paradox and get back to the opposite state to be able to come in the light and to create what you want to create truly. But the question is that truly what you want to create? Because if you did, why are you confused now? If you did truly know what you wanted to create by 200% clarity, all right, you would definitely give it a shot without having to think and without truly looking at these problems and, okay, if you say this is so easy and I go about trying this thing on my way, I'm getting so much troubles. Well, troubles do come and there will be issues, whatever you are trying to create or whatever you are trying to do, because you are coming from that tiny, whiny little ego self, which is very small and very limited, that the society has told you that you cannot do this and you cannot do that because you are too small. And always this ego is the smaller I, when you come to the transcendent state of self-awareness, of who you truly are, and you are that. You are not this body and you are not the mind. And you come out as that immense power of the universe, and you can create literally miracles on anything that you want, given that you do want. Because the chances are the one which is trying to desire something as an ego, as a smaller state, once that puppet has dissolved into the ocean of awareness, you are no longer there to desire or to fear. Your desire disappears, your fear disappears. The way how you operate absolutely changes, because now you have understood this whole game. Having understood the entirety of this game, you are no longer a victim or a warrior. You are no longer going to take up those masks that you have been wearing all these while to keep yourself protected, to keep yourself safe and trying to defend yourself. All this is from the low energy state. And that low energy is only of the I, the tiny, whiny I, that small I that I'm talking about. And in fact, none of the things which I'm talking is my own stuff, because I'm just repeating what the masters have said. And either you have the courage and the intelligence using your small I to get beyond that I, which is very difficult because it does not have that much of courage. Actually, it does not have that much of willpower. It has no willpower, in fact. First of all, if you are coming from that small I and you ask the question to these gurus and masters and to the great sages who were amazing, who knew everything about reality years, centuries ago. So they have all said just this one thing, that if the one that is trying to seek the answers dissolves in the seeking. So once the body dies, you as the seeker has died, but the seeking remains. It just takes up another form. So you are actually not this body, because if this is the case, they have also said in the scriptures that human has taken many life forms. And because of the memory, because all this is the game of memory that is going on, and just look at that, you at any point in time, you can just think of something through image and you can get back in the moment. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that a magic? This game of memory is what is imagination. So you might just want to go back and look at the way how brain works. Like if at all you're using it, look at its immense powers. You can create literally miracles around anything that you want. Given that you are coming out of this smaller I mindset and you come out as total awareness, as total shining light. So mostly we are just interested in the action zone because we have been told and conditioned by the society that, oh, you need to do this and that. Oh my gosh, if you don't do that, you're going to lose out on this, that. What about the missing aspect? Because all your life you have been taught and programmed that you need to have this and this because you are just here to enjoy. And what if you miss out? And what if you lose on things? You will just feel terrible, right? But this is actually not true, because you have been programmed just so that you can keep on running around the carrot which is tied to your tail and you never feel fulfilled. You have been programmed that you need huge houses and lots of property and money to be happy. I deny all of that. With whatever you have, you can be happy right now. With whatever you have, with your physical state in whatever form, shape and form you have. Even if you feel, oh, but I'm not feeling well and look at my arms and legs, it's just too weak. Still, even if you feel even if you are sick, understand that you have created this reality and you can flip it around. How you can flip it around is with this thought. Because even when you say that, I believe that I'm not feeling nice, it's a thought that you are believing in. So now do the opposite. Now you need to think on, wait a minute, this is just a thought and I can definitely flip it around. So you do that. And this works miracles, like even because you do understand this all is a dream state. And if you see to that, now you're playing it in the way how you want to feel and how you want to play as the creator. Even if you are coming from the small I, you have this much of intelligence by just self-remembrance. You can flip your reality, because the reality is actually just a thought. How you have thought, That's the way how your reality is going to come about. So if you think that you're not enough, and you do meet upon all the situations and circumstances which says, yeah, see, I thought so, see, I proved it right. So why are you proving yourself right anyway? If you do want to feel the other way, act as if. And that means now you have taken the power. Now you have all the control. And understand this control mechanism. This is not no more like you're coming from a lower states of consciousness and you're trying to manipulate people around you. This has come from a very transcendent higher states. So you just feel a sense of expansion in your lungs. You just feel a sense of lightness throughout your body. There's no weight. You feel weightless. You feel as if there's no gravity. You feel like levitating. And I'm not saying this because I'm trying to tell you that you just levitate off the ground and only if you do that, you are proven. No, I'm talking about a state of your mind. And well, if you're doing lots of yogic practices, there are yogis in Tibet and in India who do levitate. And there are also yogis who leave their bodies and they move out to various astral planes. Like Mahavatar Babaji, he's 2,700 years old yogi. And he's still alive, just not in a solid body form. He appears as light. So this is true, this is real. And if you call this is too woo-woo and this is too magical, I don't believe in that. Well, again, you can also believe there's no sun. But your disbelief in the sun does not mean that there is no sun. Because the truth always shines like the sun. So, coming back to the state of I. So the small I is actually, I saw a very nice example by a very young monk saint in India. He's just 21 years old and he's amazing. I follow him on YouTube. So he gives a very nice example. The seeker, the I, is actually like the puppet of salt which goes down in the water to find the truth, the reality, existence of God. So that small puppet of salt actually dissolves in the water because of course the ocean is too deep and you cannot take on with that small I identity and try to figure that out. You would have to dissolve. Now in a real sense, when you do this self-inquiry method of who am I, where it stands out is you start with your, let's say if you're sitting in a room, you start with this room, the walls. So this room where you're sitting in and you as in this body form, there's a relation. Why? Because you live in this house. You live in this place, right? So although there is a relationship, you see there's always a law of three. Trinity is there at every level. So you as this I and this room where you're sitting right now, there's a relationship that you are living in this room. So there is this you, this relationship living, and the object. So subject, object, and relationship. Three. There's always the law of Trinity. That happens in every state. Even if there is nothing, even if though you are left in vacuum, still there is this law of three. Law of Trinity. And that is observer, observed, and the relationship between the two. That's always going to be there, even if you are just all alone by yourself. So sitting in this room, coming back to the example, you see that there is this room, but this room is not I. Because this room can change. You can change the place where you're living. You can change the place where you're sitting. So now the location changes from this room to another room. From this place X to place Y. Now, so because this thing is ever changing, you at no point in time come and say that this is solid. Because what is truth is forever there. It's always the same. It's the non-changing. Everything else is changing. Your desires change, your fears change. And at every stage, you can always categorize them in two. A human mind is always between these two states. Either it's in desire or it's in fear. Either you're trying to protect yourself, you're trying to safeguard your money, your family, your relations, your money, or whatever thing that you have, material goods, or your emotional states. You always want to feel happy and high. That is a state of fear because now you're trying to defend it. Or the opposite is you're in a state of desire. You want to expand yourself. You want to expand your awareness and consciousness in a way that you can actually learn, and you just want to experience more. So that is desire. Now understand that both these frames would actually bring you to the same miserable state of suffering, because desires not met are going to make you feel miserable. And if desire is fulfilled, you see where you're going from here, because if you do not understand, you're going to waste your entire life doing this way of living, which is absolutely wrong at the root. So coming back to the example, now you are here, and if your desire is met, it is just going to lead you to another desire, because you would think, okay, I can do this. I can also do the next thing. And I can also do the next thing. And I can also do the next thing. And you just keep on going. You just keep on multiplying that till you're alive. How much ever years you have left. But you see to it that all this while, if you thought that the accomplishment of that desire was going to give you happiness, why are you not happy in the now? Have you not accomplished so many things by now? Have you not achieved almost everything that you have so far is in the 100% checklist criteria, what you had, right? So there is no way that fulfillment of desire is going to keep you 100% happy. It's just a trick of the mind. How it behaves is, it gives you a delusion that maybe once you have that thing, that object, you're going to feel absolutely blissful, absolutely happy. Let's say even, for example, traveling. You might say that I'm going to feel absolutely blissed out once I'm in Spain, or I'm in Switzerland, or I'm in some nice blue mountain, for example. So you say, wow, that's a nice desire. I can achieve that. And you head out. You head out to the mountains, and you do feel good, but not for too long. What happens after you have arrived, after you have stayed there for some hours? Now you think, okay, but what's next? Or maybe your older fear creeps back on you, because you came out of there just to avoid that thing, which was there at the base of it. And to live is to always have fear, because you do not want to die. And the way the mind and the body is designed is, it's always constantly working in a way that it can keep you strong and protected. You do not want to die of any sort of unforeseen circumstance. So you do not want to be in the unknown. But take a look. What is it that you truly know? This is important, because we know only things at a surface level. You know how to brush your teeth. You know how to drive your car. You know how to go to a 9-to-5 job, for example. Or even if you're a freelancer, or you are a creative person, you know how to work on projects. You know how to bill the clients. You know how to do invoicing, blah, 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 whatever. But now, how much of it is that you truly know? It's all at the superficial level. Yeah, you can categorize these things. I know this, I know this, I know that. So many things. But even a simple thing like the way how your cells are working in your body. If you call you are this body, you should have total awareness, and you should be able to say everything about your body, but you know nothing about your body. You know nothing about the universe that's going on inside of your brain, inside behind your eyes, in your cells, in your veins, in your heart, in your intestine, bones, flesh, blood, whatever. You do not know nothing of that. And the way how we perceive the outer world is only through these, it's all about conditioning. It's just all about conditioning. The way you were raised in the society that you were in. And that has absolutely brought up the way you are. So at no point in time you can say that you are the way you are because of how you prepared yourself to be. No, no, no. The truth is of how the circumstances around you made you to be like that. So I'm the way I am because of the circumstances around me, because the universe around me, because of the environment I'm in that has shaped me in at this level. So you might say, but this does not feel comfortable to me because I do not want to be conditioned in a way like how I am right now. Because many times, even if you see a great sports person, they are the way they are because of the circumstance that they are in. If you see the life of Kobe Bryant, he was a great basketball player. And he was just not so because everybody landed him all the goodies in his lap, you know. He had worked insanely hard. His work ethic was crazy. He would just literally rip off his whole life just to be there where he was. And still, when he died at 40, he still never ever claimed that he was at his best, because he always knew that he did not know. He always had the upper open gap wherein he would say that I don't know. I'm just trying. I'm just doing this and that steps. I'm just taking these actions so that I do not have regret that I did not work out to my best ability. That's a huge, that needs a lot of guts to be able to talk the truth. You see what I'm saying? And he was not so phenomenally amazing because he was hanging out with a bunch of fools. He was a loner. He was absolutely strong man who did everything standing alone, doing everything that his brain and heart told him. And that is a lot of work, because now that means breaking your own boundaries. And who can break the boundaries? This is where the spiritual realm comes into picture. The small I, which wants to push the limit, is always going to do little by little. You know, today I've done this much, tomorrow I'm going to do this much percent. And then again, because you see the path of learning, even the book of James Clear, he says that learning is not a straight out linear path. It's a circular thing. So you keep on going up and down. You go up and then you go down. Learning is not a linear curve that you just shoot up, you start from here and you directly go from 1 to 100. Why? Because here also, even in learning, you're facing straight out the forces of unknown. If you are not aware of the forces that act behind you on the scenes, you would forever be lost. And you can have a good house and great car and great family and lots of whatever you want to have. You would still live a blank, hollowed out life. Because it's important to understand the basis of reality and how that works. So in order to understand that, you need to come out of it. So the coming out is actually you, who you think you are as I, is not there to truly be able to see through that. And how do you look at that? Is by self-inquiry. Easiest method to start from. But you will see, as you start to do the self-inquiry, your mind would distract you into lot many ways. It's actually the real meditation. The true meditation is that it's not you just sit and close your eyes and think that, yeah, I'm meditating now. Even though what Buddha had suggested, his exercise on breathing. So you are just watching your breath come in and go out. That too is very much because it's actually going to silence your mind. Same thing what inquiry does. When you are asking yourself, who am I? Your entire state and the turbulence of the mind, whatever that whirlpool energy was like that going on, now you're using all of that same energy to turn within. And you ask yourself this question, who am I? And this is so, I would not say it would land you in peace in a sudden, in a flash, but sometimes it does. And I don't know, sometimes I feel like absolutely no sound, and not no sound also. It's just like there's nothing inside of your heart, because you actually think from heart. Why do I say that? Like, for example, you have a thought. So just watch you having a thought. You can do this experiment right now. So you might just think of doing some work. So how are you thinking about doing that work? It's actually coming out as a thought in your head. But that thought, if you see, what is a thought? Just look close at that. What is a thought? It's actually sound and images. Either it might be like a video clip that plays out in your brain for a few nanoseconds, or it might be a sound that is talking, which is your own voice, isn't it? That is what is a thought. There's no other thing to thought. Even if you say, well, I can go back in memory, so that memory is a thought. Yes, so that too is coming as an image. So when you say what is a thought, it's either images or words. Without these two, you cannot have a thought. Try thinking a thought without having an image. Can you? Try thinking a thought without words coming from inside of you. Because there's always a constant conversation going on inside your own self. So you think that, oh, what will I make in the dinner? And there is this word that talked, what will I make in the dinner? Or this image of pizza that came in your mind, and you thought, yeah, I want to eat a pizza. So that is a thought. Even if you think about memory or imagination, both of these would again in turn come back to this thing of image or words. So without having these light and sound, these two things. Now where is the light and sound coming from? The light and the sound in turn comes to the eye. Now you go back and trace back, who am I? Now, so from here, you see that there is a constant perceiving that is going on. And this perceiving, you cannot tag to it as sound or light. So see, again, there is this law of Trinity that I talked about at the beginning of the video. So there is this eye, and to this eye, you are having the light and the sound. Now you do just the minus of that. There's no light, there's no sound, there's just this eye. What is this eye? This is the constant witness. When you go as a witness, see, I told you to do this experiment. And while you're doing this experiment, you actually try, even while taking a pen and writing 2 + 2 = 4, you, as you, who you think you are. So initially, to do this test, you need to come back from who you think you are, which is actually the witness game. Gradually, as you're going to get deeper in this self-inquiry method, you would realize that you are beyond the witness. And that just happens in a flip. Again, if you want to reproduce that scenario because you felt, wow, I was so blissed out. I've never felt this joy, this peace. What did I feel? Was that God that I felt? Yes and no. And who's to prove? Are you doing this to prove this to someone else? Or are you doing this just to seek your own truth, to seek your own meaning? And not just keep on running about like headless chicken, like what 99% of people do. You don't want to do that. Why don't you want to do that? Not because you want to prove yourself superior, but because you, as a seeker, you want to know the truth. There's no game of proving yourself high and low. That stupid, silly games that society has taught you just crumbles down. So what is essential is you come to that state of witness as I. And why chanting and devotion is essential, because without that, it is actually like the rasa, the juice of creativity, the juice of love. Without that, that's why mankind has built gods. Because without that, there is no love. And you want to feel love along the way as you do self-inquiry. Because if you just come from the Gyan Yoga path, which is the path of wisdom, and Bhakti Yoga, which is the path of devotion to your deity, to your God, actually all of this will finally land you into that same state. Like even if God, Lord Krishna or Lord Shiva came in front of you, and they too would in turn ask you, like one very nice devotee had asked Sri Ramana Maharishi, I'm a devotee of Lord Krishna and I sing his bhajans and I sing, I can see Lord Krishna come and play with me. So is my path not right? So Sri Ramana Maharishi then said, even if you say that Lord Krishna comes and plays with you and Krishna lives with you in your house, still he would also in turn ask you, who am I? Because Lord Krishna too, and all the gods are also your own manifestation. It is your I which has built. It is your I which has built this world. And now it seems like too much of a responsibility to say, what? Do you mean to say it's me, it's I who has created all of this? It would be very much thought-provoking, and also it would be very much unreal thing that you just do not want to take that responsibility. How have I created this universe? It's insane. No way that I would have created the places which I've never seen, places which I've never thought, people that I have never known, situations I've never created. Wow, that's bizarre now. You see where it's going. So, as you go on expanding that, it can expand into infinite possibilities. Insane amount of infinite possibilities. Now what they say, that God, who is the creator, he could see multiple universes, which every single thing awareness of what's going on in an atom to the multi magnitude of the universes and multiverses and way beyond, because the universe is only certain aspect of the entirety. There's a lot of the unknown. So that is the black aspect, the dark matter aspect of the universe. And God, who is all the time self-aware of everything that's going on. That's why we believe in why do you think people believe in God when they have no hopes left? Even if you're a non-believer in God and you say, I don't believe in God, I don't believe in any of the gods, I believe in none of the God, I'm completely living by my own. Are you sure about that? Because if such is the case, would you still make this statement when you are closer to death, when your entire confidence in money, status, standards set by others, which gives you a delusion of self-empowerment, falls down? If it keeps crumbling down and you have nothing left with you, are you still confident that you would not say, oh my God, I need help? So there you are. And because again, you see that you have created God, and we created God just so that we can have some sort of a help coming from some source. Because we think, me playing out from this small I do not have that much of a control. I do not have that much of power to turn things around and bend things the way how I want it to. So I just want to have some sort of a help, And that help is actually love, because that is all there is to it. People go on making huge things. It's all for love. Either it's love or you are pushed to that. So, but in turn, even if the life pushes you to do certain things which you do not want to do, but you ought to serve others. You need to work for others, because that's how it's a transaction. Your entire life is a transactional game. You work for others. In turn, you get the money to buy your grocery. You get the money to do whatever you want to do in your life, right? So there's just no way that you are getting everything for free. It's all a service that we all are doing to each other. So how you operate in a society, it's all a give and take, because you are absolutely connected to everything else around. If you say, no, I'm independent, I'm not connected to nothing. No, you are, because you are still using the roads that the government has built for you. You are still using the stores, the market, which gets you food. Or even if you are a self-growing produce farmer, still you are going and buying the things from other mills and factories that can help you in turn raise the crops that you raise. So all of us are interdependent. So to say that I'm a free thing and I'm so individual and I can stay off grid, even staying in the off grid, you are still connected. Because who is that who is sustaining your off grid living? Even that off grid living is supported by a system by which through that support, now you are living in there, say like Paraguay or wherever, where they have nice off grid living systems, which does not actually cost you a lot, and that gives you a very good sustainable living on lots of free energy, and you are not having so much distraction like a modern day city life. So why am I talking about this? I'm saying all this only to loosen up the grip of the mind. Because you see, it is true. I've just done this experiment because yesterday I was feeling a bit tightness around in my lungs. So I just watched that. First of all, you need to be aware of the tightness in your own body. Okay? So you watch that you have got some stiffness in your lungs or in your neck or wherever. And once you have watched that, now you see that why is this thing happening? And do not shy away from that. So this thing is also a manifestation of thought. Your entire life is a manifestation of thought. Now, do not be scared by taking this responsibility. Oh my gosh, if I'm the creator of my thought, why am I creating such horrible thoughts? Because 99% of the time, a normal person would, 90% of the time, the subconscious works. And the subconscious is programmed in a garbage way. Now, You need to take the responsibility of unlearning and relearning. All this amount of work, of study, of learning and learning, failing and hating yourself, why I have failed again, is only coming out from this sense of small I. So if you do take on this path of self-inquiry, you would feel that you need not do any work. Like Ramana Maharishi, why I love him? Because he gave the easiest way for a fool like me. So he told me a very nice thing in his book when I read. He says that a seeker or a person who says, oh, I've got to do this and that, is actually like a fool who's sitting on the train with the luggage on his head. Now you are sitting in the train and you need not do nothing. You just have to sit down, put your luggage, bring it down on the floor, and you just move with the train. See? And what is that luggage? That luggage is your mind, of you taking on that responsibility. Oh, I need to manage my mind. I need to think good thoughts to create good reality. Oh my God, I don't want to fall sick. Oh, now I need to keep on doing this and that, da, da, da. It's just insane amount of work if you are coming from that I, because you know that sooner or later your energy would drain out. Why else do you think people, after having written or achieved that huge successes in business, why they do get into states of depression? Because that in turn is a lie you have been told, that once you reach at the mountaintop, that is the summit. Haha, good luck to you. Because the moment you have reached on top, you know that it's only a plateau. And you do know that there are infinite amount of mountains on top. And there's no end to it. So do not be in this illusion and delusion. Now, I'm not saying that not to learn, but the entire viewpoint, your state of being itself shifts. From there on, you are no more acting from the state that you used to, because now you are coming in from the point as the entirety. So that means you're not putting a block on your own path. You are not your own blocker anymore. That also does not mean you go on blaming others that, oh, they are doing this to me, they are doing that to me. I failed because of him. I failed because of her. Look at them. They made me miserable. Look at him. She gave me trauma. No. You are a resilient being. So you blaming the situations outside of you or others is not going to help you. The only thing that can actually help is to shut up and do the self-inquiry and just to look. Stop. Just stop. I don't even say slow down, just stop, because where you are headed to is absolutely wrong. Just stop right now. What happens if you're going somewhere and you are headed on a wrong road? So do you just keep on driving insanely faster and faster just to get to some place where you know inside you do not want to go? This is crazy, because if you do know, the moment you know that, oh, I'm on a wrong turn, what do? You take a U-turn, or you try and navigate your map to get back on the right plane. You are no more going to continue on driving insanely fast just because you have been taught to drive fast. This is what society does. It has told you to do everything fast. Where are you headed to? You are just heading to death. It's meaningless. It's absolutely foolish to live that way. When you have all the rights, when you have all the awareness to live every single second of your life in freedom and bliss. That means what? That means you would have to let go of all of your fear and greedy needs. Whatever needs to be done will be done. You trust your own abilities. You work with what you have. And if you think, well, there is something more that I need to do, you do that. Why? Because now there is no more resistance that says, oh, don't do that. Your small I, which used to say, I don't know. Now you have gone so deep and zoomed out that fear so much, you as your tiny I is dead. You as your tiny self is no more there. And if you say, but I'm trying, I'm not able to do that, then just keep on sitting with it. It's like you want everything in a flash. You do not have patience. Everything needs patience. The way a child learns alphabets A to Z, the baby does not learn in a day. But learn from the child, learn from your own kid. They are the live examples of godliness in your own life. Learn from a child, learn from a baby. Look at the way how they learn. They fall and then they get up again. They stumble, they fall, they get up again, because they do not have this resistance in their mind which says them, oh, so shame, I fell down. Look, my parents will not give me milk anymore. My parents are not going to give me blueberry jam anymore. They fall down and they still get up with those soft, nimble legs, with their softer body. They do not think that I need to be strong to be able to walk. And you see, that's why a child is so flexible. A child can do a lot more than an average adult. Because you give a child a proper training, you are literally training them to be insanely awesome, strong beings. That's why a good parenting is so essential for a child. As a parent, either you're going to ruin your child's future or you're going to enable them. If you have not instilled right sort of thoughts and belief system, what are you doing? Because a child is in itself an intelligent being which is just brought up in a small, cute body. But by the sense of truth, they already know a lot more than you and I. They are pretty much closer to their own sense. And you see through it, like even when you see a child, I've seen my nieces and nephews when they were small, and how a child learns. That is so amazing. Like they approach to everything with a fresh state of mind. They are so fresh. They have so much of innocence in them. And to learn, you need humbleness and innocence. You cannot be a strong, solid ground and say, yeah, I know this. Now, because I already know and I'm so smart, and I'm in my 20s or I'm in my 30s, I'm so smart, I can just do about anything. If you come up with this sort of a thing, you are in for a huge, massive downfall. Because if you are approaching with the solidity structures in your mind that I already know, and I'm not going to fail at that. Come on, this is too basic for me. My skill levels are too high. You're in for some real shock. Because the best way to start to learn something is to come from ground zero. Back to basics, just like how you learned as a child. You start from ground zero. You do not assume, even though if you have been doing something for 4 or 5 years, you do not assume that you know it right. So you start from ground zero and you just go step by step and you see what is it that I'm, first of all, having the right intention. Why do you want to do something? Why you want to learn that thing? Mostly what I've seen that a person goes to learn something, goes to knowledge only through the life situation that they are brought up in. Like if you go about knowledge, there can be million and zillion of things in the world going on right now. And there are 8+ billion people. Everybody at certain level is aware and is knowledgeable about something. But you as what is it that makes you go and learn that certain thing should come from your own requirement, and that the society should not dictate you. That no, you need to learn this, so then you would fit into our structure in a way as this and that. Where there is a handshake. I'm not saying no totally to that, but there is a handshake. And there is a point wherein you draw the line and you also see what is it that exactly your life purpose intends you to learn. And why you're doing that, so that also you can stay more aligned with your life's purpose, because you do not want to live a meaningless life. Again, all of this is the downstream branching out. But if you come back from the source, you see that everything gets clear as you go along the way. That means what? That means you are not just say the example that let's say you have a plant in your garden and you water. So you water the roots of the plant, right? Because when you water the roots of the plant, your stem, your branches, your leaves, flowers, everything is getting nourished, right? So that external branching out is how your life is, with all of its subtle states that you have to face in, along with these solid states, with the problem that you face, with the way how you have to navigate through life, right? Nothing is linear. So when you are with this awareness, you water the roots. So the root in this case is your I. So every day, staying with this awareness, just do these experiments, not for 24 hours, but you see, like in 24 hours, use your analytical mind, which is your left mind, and your right mind, which is the spiritual mind. So a true intellect and genius is somebody who's able to integrate the two, the right and the left, yin and yang. So like I'm going this in the more branched out way. So somebody who's been able to integrate their shadow side and the light side. That means you as your own devil, you have got over that beast now. And also your own divinity, right? So these two you need to learn. It's actually like doing cycling. You need to keep on pedaling on both the planes as long as you are operating from that dual state. But when you are in the state of awareness, like Sri Ramana Maharishi, at that level there are no rules on the physical plane. At that level you have transcended all the rules. You do not need to go by any of the rules. So again, the way out is the way in. To be able to break the rules, you must go through the rules. What I've seen about this thing, a human is constantly in denial of following by rules, because by truth, by reality, our nature is free. Our natural spirit is free. Imagine you're going somewhere and suddenly somebody hands you over this page of 50 rules and you need to adhere to these. What is it inside of you? You just feel rebelled. You do not want to stick to any rules, but we are conditioned and we stick to the rules because you do not want to miss out on the goodies from the society. But let's see, if there was no mandatory thing for you, nobody wants to follow the rules, because rules are just like limitations to where you want to go. And many times it's not expansive. Rather, what is a rule? It's actually a narrowed down thing. So you just narrow like for example, if you have to write a book and if it is about something, you cannot just go on writing infinitely about that, right? You write about it for a certain content. Even this talk that I'm giving, I can go on talking about this for hours, but I think that no, maybe this much amount of time is good, and I would stop the talk at this point, XYZ time. But so that is about the rule thing. But you do not want to in turn follow the rules. So whenever you are faced with this thing, follow the rule to get beyond the rule is again in turn talking about come through the small eye and merge into the divine eye. So that is the divine eye of the creation. So you, as your small eye, you have lost your tiny eye, but you are also attached to your own miseries as much you are attached to your dreams. We are all attached, and that's a very bizarre thing to say. And you might think, no, why should I be attached to my misery? Yes, you are. If you did not, you would have just dropped that thought of unpleasantness, whatever is that you are trying to avoid. And do that experiment. If you say that I'm not attached to my misery, then do the test. Just think the opposite and drop that burden. And you will immediately feel a release of energy in your body, in your mind. Your aura begins to expand. Your entire presence is a healing thing to the entire planet without you doing any sort of social charity. Of course, you go and do things, whatever you feel like, but then there's just a state of expansion that has happened there. And you're no more operating from that small eye that feels so much in fear and it feels so much stressed out for pretty silly things. And what is the human thought of silliness apart from that? Of how they are thinking about me? Of what they are thinking about me? What they will do to me? Who are you? You are nothing. And if you're scared about dying and threats and fears, learn to live with the unknown. Because only if you're living and you do know that you do not know anything of what's going to happen, you can live absolutely in the now. And that is what is the whole point of what Eckhart Tolle says, live in the here and now. Because when you are truly here in the now moment, right now, you do not have any of the issues. It's only a projection of the future that is giving you problem. Oh, tomorrow I might die. In the future, what is there for me? But in the now, in this right now moment, you do not have any issue. And if you do, you just watch that. Let's say if you say, no, but I have pain. So you watch that pain. Or if you say, but I have anxiety, so you watch that anxiety and use the law of paradox and flip it around. So if you have changed it in your thought, you have already changed that in your reality. And and just have patience. You need to have patience. And I've studied a lot about how to develop patience. And after referring to so many books, so much of content on internet, I found that the best way is to find from my own heart. Because all of the knowledge that you are seeking is coming through thought. All of that emanates from your heart. This entire universe emanates from your heart. So I asked, what is patience? And the answer came from within this heart. It said, to be able to see through how you make a bread from a dough to the bread. How does that become? Is that instantly? No. It takes its own time. You put the bread in the oven, you put the right temperature, it's in that environment, it sits there, and after 20 minutes or 15 minutes, the bread is ready. That is patience. The bread does not have impatience, that the dough does not want to be bread in a moment. It has the patience to sit with it. It has the patience to be able to sit with that in the oven at high temperature, 15 degrees. For 15 minutes. So that is patience. Just to be able to see through your own downfalls, pitfalls, your highs, your lows, just to watch. That is patience. That is your exercise, what you do. That is your self-inquiry. You see, everything is just one simple thing. You do not have to do anything. You just have to witness. You just have to watch. And just with that watching, we can let go of a lot of stress and negativity. As I'm talking to you, all of these things, actually I'm educating my own self. I'm teaching myself also. Because the best way to teach, to learn, is through teaching. So I share whatever I have learned in my life to you beautiful beings, because I feel that, again, I do not do this for recognition. I'm not doing this for money or fame. I'm doing this because of pure genuinity of my soul. I do this because I'm just an authentic being and I want to live every single day of my life in that authenticity. I do not have any goals per se. I just live my life in the now with absolute being, living in truth, so that when I die, I just want to feel that every single day I lived up to my utmost best higher self. I cooperated with it and I did not fight with it. And to be able to say I lived in bliss, I lived in truth, it does not mean you do not have your own turbulences of the mind, but you watch through it, you learn through it. Any failure that you face from the mind or from society, take that as a learning. And don't be a child which is not ready to grow. So there are a lot of older adults who are still in child mentality. You might be 70 or 80 years old, but still have that child mentality. Don't be that. Rather, learn from a child. Learn from how a child is. Stay open, be receptive. Do the things that is actually going to take you forward, and do not be a roadblocker on your own lane. Because you can do that, but you just understand that it is your own attachment to suffering. You are suffering because you are totally attached to it. You love your suffering so much, you would not let go. Why do you think this is another thing, people, though they know what is the higher taste, they still fall down and pick the low. And that happens in everything, in relations, in food, in the lifestyle, in your decisions. Every moment in time, you are aware of what is the higher choice, but you still fall down and take the lower one. Are you aware of this, first of all? To me, when I saw that, it came as a lot of disgust for me. I thought, why would I do that? Why would I still look at a thing so high and still pick the low? Because you have the fear of the unknown. Because you just want to stick to known, even though it's ugly. Even though if it's not serving you any purpose, you still want to be with that shit. All that you need, because also there is the fear of suffering. You know that learning is a lot of suffering. You do not just learn just like that. Learning means you are letting go and subsiding your smaller I. Learning means you are facing the rigors of life. That's why a lot of people don't want to learn. Learning means failing. Means every attempt that you make, would be denied. Learning means rejection. Learning means crushing of your ego self, which says that I'm so smart. Learning means facing yourself as the ugly self that you are. Because what you are not, you cannot be. You have to be. And in order to be at the right place, you need to start from where you are. But if you're in complete denial all the time that, no, I'm already great. It's like you, even before having started your car to go to that mountain, you are saying, I'm already at the mountain. I need not go anywhere. Well, then so be it. Don't move. So the whole point is, if you feel that I need to go from X to Y place, you see where you are right now. You put your source and your target. And only once you are with this state of honesty, then you can go from here to there. And this is the case in everything. So I would just want to end the video now because I thought I've talked enough about this. Just staying in the awareness, staying as the witness, and then also doing the things which the life demands out of you at the right time. That is the right action at the right time. That is the true sense of time. I'll make a next video about time and how that operates. But that's it for now. Have a great day. Bye.